The United States is about to break and nobody is willing to talk about it. If we as a country don't make a change here, we are cooked. The media doesn't give it the attention it deserves. Politicians won't say it out loud, but our country, it's drowning in over $36 trillion in debt. And here's the terrifying part. We're now spending more than $1 trillion a year just to pay the interest, not the debt itself, just the interest. It takes my breath away whenever I talk about it. Imagine you maxed out your credit card that you have, then took out more just to cover your monthly payments. That's what we're doing as a government and as a country. And when the bill comes due, it's you who's going to pay the price. Higher taxes, slash services, or worse, God forbid, a financial collapse that would make 2008 look like a hiccup. If we don't change course here, folks, if we don't stop printing money, overspending, and kicking this can down the road, your future, our future, won't be stable jobs and affordable homes. It'll be layoffs, rent that you can't afford, and retirement accounts that don't mean anything. Heck, some of you are saying right now, I'm already feeling the effects. They'll try to distract you with these headlines and drama, but this is the real threat we are facing, and nobody's coming to save us. I'm curious, what do you think about this in the comment section below? For more unapologetic and trustworthy news, hit that follow button. I appreciate you.
60% of the American public is about to lose everything they have. People living paycheck to paycheck are about to go broke. The GDP numbers came in yesterday, and of course the economy receded, which I predicted 2 months ago, and people laughed. Mark my words, the second quarter is going to be far worse. Tariffs on Chinese products at 145% are about to kick in, which means everything you buy from China on Amazon or elsewhere is about to go through the roof. Grocery store shelves are starting to empty at Walmarts across the country, and of course grocery prices continue to soar. People who've been financing groceries on credit are starting to default on those payments. We are about to see an economic catastrophe. If you're in this 60% that has little or no money, please stop spending money. Protect your family. Trump does not care about you. Even if you voted for him, he's a billionaire. He won't suffer, but you and your family will. Please protect yourself. 60% of the American public is about to lose everything.
I haven't paid my rent in 3 months. I got food in the fridge though. My car is downstairs and I can get back and forth to work, but I haven't paid rent in 3 months. I'm not saying this to flex at all, I'm not, but what else am I supposed to do? Like, I can't afford it because bills keep coming out. Rent is already high. Like, I need to eat, okay? I need to do what I need to do to take care of myself. So I'm not paying it. And you know, these jobs don't care nothing about your personal life. Like, all they care about is you showing up on time, doing your 8, 10, 12 hours, however long you have to work. And then that's it. And then you do it all again the next day. Like, I'm burnt out. I'm tired. Like, I'm not about to be working 6 other jobs just to be able to pay my rent. Call me crazy if you want, but I'm still here. So we're gonna have to see what happens in the next 30 days.
I don't know when it happened, but everything just quietly got expensive. Like, one day you're buying groceries for, let's say, $80, and now that same cart is $180. Like, it's not even like I'm buying fancy stuff. I'm getting eggs, bread, chicken, and somehow the total ends up being $200. Like, please. It's actually so wild that people think we are actually not trying hard. Like, no, we're budgeting, we're cooking, not eating out. We're literally cutting down every subscription, but somehow we still end up broke. Like, adulthood in 2025 just feels like paying bills and being confused as to why you are broke.
Bro, how are people making it? If you making $30 an hour, it's weird to ask that, but how are you making it? After you pay your rent, $1,500 a month, that's on the low side. Car note, $500 a month. Phone bill, $100 a month. Insurance, gas, food, electricity, health insurance, all these day-to-day expenses. How are people making it? You do the math and you come back and tell me what the numbers look like for you. because a person can make $30 an hour and is going to struggle. I can only imagine making $15 an hour. You cannot live on that. No, you cannot. You cannot convince me otherwise. You cannot live on 15 or $30 an hour. Or you're going to stay broke.
Expensive. There's a huge elephant in the room, and that is the fact of the cost of living crisis. With things getting harder, the obesity is climbing up. Yeah. And it's not rocket science. Because look, people say, oh, people need to eat more healthily, so on, so on, so on. Yeah, it's okay. But if you're on low income, one parent household, and you're on minimum wage, what types of food do you have available? It's expensive. Yeah. It's expensive.
And I think also time consuming, Andrew. I think if you look at people's lifestyles now,
yeah,
therefore, you know, there's convenience of having
all those facts. It's cheaper for them to eat the food from maybe Iceland, stuff at £1, £2, whatever it is, and you've got, you know, 2-3 kids to feed. And so cheap food becomes the order of the day. And cheap foods have lots of, you know, saturated fats and all these other different things that make it unhealthy. But people flock to it because it's cheap. So this is the why obesity creeps up, but also on low income. So put it all together. Somebody is not feeling great about life. Things haven't worked out the way they thought it would. They may have slightly lower self-esteem. They've been in out of jobs in the last 5-6 years because of COVID and whatever it is, and previously in a job now they're not happy with, just about paying the bills, just about surviving. And do maybe 2 jobs, a couple of kids, things that maybe they may not want to, but they have to because that's the only way to survive and to keep full. So they have they get a health issue, and that adds fuel to the fire. And it makes them feel even worse than what they are. And it's going to affect all, I mean, if you're a functional age, it's going to how you look, body image. You may not feel great about yourself. Secondly, some people may even lose their libido. I think people don't consider that move people down that slippery slope.
Really gets me down to my bones. And that's when people say the cost of living. The cost of living. Someone woke up one day and decided, oh, we're going to charge people for water, which is a human right. We're going to charge people for food. Do we charge the animals? Do we charge the birds for water and food? No, we fucking don't. It really pisses me off when we label this the cost of living. The cost of living. The probability of you being born is very, very small. And then for someone to turn around and go, it's going to cost you for your life to live. The cost of fucking living. There's people that come over on the boats that are in the hotel. Are they affected by cost of living? No, the fuck. No, not at all. Everything's free. They're not worried about the cost of living. The cost of living? Wow, life is free. This is great. It's only us fucking idiots that get the cost of living. I hate it. It's disgusting. It's a vile phrase.
I don't think you guys are going to be ready for me to tell you how much I just spent on groceries and show you what I got. I spent, here, wait, let me show you what I got, okay? Sour cream, salsa, cheddar cheese, turkey bacon, taco shells, 2 bags of tortilla chips, because they were like, I would get one 50% off, okay? So there's some deals in here. 2 things of salsa, packets, these are like $1 each. Sourdough bread, tortillas, a frozen thing of riced cauliflower, baby spinach, and kind protein bars, okay? This is it right here. Let me flip the camera around. This is what I bought. Right here. Okay? This is it. This is it. This cost me $75. Oh, and I had $2 off because I'm a frequent shopper. Yep.
You know what's crazy? I'm paying $2,300 to live in my house that I own with my husband a month. And we just got a letter saying that we starting November 1st, are going to owe $330 more a month because of property taxes. So for our almost 1,800 square foot house, we're going to be owing $2,600 a month. It's absolutely insane.
I don't know where to go anymore. I have no home. I have no home. I don't even know where to go anymore. All I keep doing is driving back and forth on highways. We spend all our time in the car. I can't even cook for him anymore because it's getting colder outside. I'm trying to do my best, but where am I going? Where am I going? I'm either driving to a friend's cabin, which is 3 hours away, or I'm driving to a campground, which is $38 a night and has a shower. Either way, I'm spending money. Inconvenience. This is inconvenience. They evicted me. I was just starting a new business. Hoping to build a financial future, and now all that debt I'm carrying with me too. Crazy. City of St. John.
We are living in a retirement nightmare right now with so many people facing homelessness.
I honestly have no idea what to do anymore. I'm sitting here, it's almost midnight. I've been scrolling for hours, just looking for jobs, like extra jobs. I work 2 jobs right now, and I feel like I can't even afford, what I'm trying to pay for. My rent's so expensive. I go to the grocery store today, I get bread, peanut butter, jelly, and milk, and it comes out to almost $18. $18 for sandwich ingredients without any protein and milk. My phone bill's expensive, gas is expensive, and I'm just like, man, I'm a 28-year-old. I'm out here in Oregon, and I honestly don't even know what to do. Something needs to change. Something must change very, very fast, or I honestly, I don't know if I'll be able to survive this. I've talked to many people. They're in the same boat. So I want to use this page as a place for people to come support each other and just, hopefully get through this together, because I know it's not just me. We're in this together. It's going to be okay. But we really got to ride this out together.
Fox News today, Zohran Mamdani had a message for Donald Trump, who was probably watching. He looked directly into the camera and said this. It's worth a watch.
I want to take this moment because you spoke about President Trump, and he may be watching right now. And I just want to speak directly to the president, which is that I will not be a mayor like Mayor Adams, who will call you to figure out how to stay out of jail. I won't be a disgraced governor like Andrew Cuomo, who will call you to ask how to win this election. I can do those things on my own. I will, however, be a mayor who is ready to speak at any time to lower the cost of living. That's the way that I am going to lead this city. That's the partnership I want to build, not only with Washington, D.C., but anyone across this country. I think it's important because too often the focus on the needs of working class Americans, working class New Yorkers are put to the side as we talk more and more about the very kinds of corrupt politicians like Andrew Cuomo that delivered us into this kind of crisis.
That response right there is going to drive Donald Trump crazy because it's smart, it's well articulated, it's focused on the people, which are no qualities that Donald Trump has. And the difference between Democrats like Zohran Mamdani and Donald Trump is that Democrats are actually focused on bringing down the cost of living. It's not just something we talk about, it's something that Democrats are actively trying to do. Donald Trump used it as an issue to get into office, and so far things just keep going up in price.
Here's something I've started to notice, and I wish I hadn't. Hunger. Not famine, not the kind that happens far away in somebody else's moral geography, but the local, ordinary kind. The Canadian kind. People my age, people with degrees and jobs and decent grammar, are telling me they're skipping meals. Not for fitness, not for faith, for money. They can't afford to eat. I can't either some days. The fridge is an echo chamber. You learn to time your hunger to your bank balance. I tell myself I'm intermittent fasting. Really, I'm just broke. I'm lucky in one sense. I have family who help, but even they are strained now. It's become a national sport, this private juggling of who helps whom survive another week. The rich are fine, of course. They're always fine. And the government seems content to treat our collective malnutrition as a kind of character-building exercise. Since COVID, we've all been living in the aftermath of the great economic adjustment. Prices have exploded like popcorn. Wages, like a sulky teenager, refuse to move. Jobs today pay roughly what they did when I finished university, except everything costs double. We've achieved a kind of anti-progress. The more you look, the less you have, and yet, from the marble lips of economists, we're told that to keep life affordable, pay must stay low. Affordable for whom exactly? Walk into a grocery store and you'll see what I mean. Every aisle is a battlefield. You do mental math over cans of beans. You make humiliating decisions in public to put back the bread or the butter. And every month, the price stickers advance like enemy troops. I'm old enough to remember when the price of a tomato wasn't a philosophical question. In Canada, we like to pretend we're immune to this kind of thing, that hunger is an American disease. But the numbers tell a different story. Food banks, Canada reports, usage has nearly doubled since 2019. More and more of the people lining up for those boxes of near-expired pasta are employed. They work full-time, pay taxes, and still can't afford dinner. That's not a recession, that's a system failure. Meanwhile, rent has become an extortion racket with a civic license. The first half of your paycheck goes to your landlord, the second to Hydro, and the remainder to the grocery store. Which takes it with a smirk, of course. Food or heat, that's the new binary. We used to laugh at Victorian novels where the heroine fainted from hunger. Now we just scroll past TikToks of people doing the same thing in Scarborough. South of the border, the pattern repeats with American gusto. During COVID, emergency aid briefly lowered hunger levels to record lows. It was proof that government intervention, for once, worked. And then, as soon as the data looked too good, they stopped doing it. Hunger came roaring back. The logic was classic neoliberalism. The market will sort it out. The market, of course, has no stomach. It digests people just fine. The orthodoxy of the last 40 years, deregulate, privatize, pray, has turned hunger into a management problem. Food is treated like a consumer good, wages like a suggestion, and poverty like a personal failure. Charity picks up the scraps. Food banks were meant to be temporary. They become permanent architecture, monuments to a broken economy. The irony is obscene. In the richest nations on earth, we built a parallel welfare state out of tin cans and volunteer hours. I don't believe lobbying will fix this. The political class is serenely insulated from the problem. Their grocery bills are reimbursed, their meals expensed. They'll tell you they're monitoring the situation, as though hunger were a weather pattern. What are we to do? March on Loblaws? The truth is, no one's coming to save us, so we'll have to feed ourselves, won't we? Literally. That might mean neighborhood food co-ops run by the people who buy from them, selling at cost and refusing to play capitalism's little pricing games. Or public kitchens. 1 free meal a day, no paperwork, no shame. The infrastructure is already there, schools, churches, community halls. It would cost less than 1 fighter jet. Or maybe we need a job guarantee that includes growing and cooking food. Pay people to feed people. The economics of it are embarrassingly obvious. I've seen small rebellions that work. In one apartment block I know, 10 tenants pool their grocery money and buy staples in bulk. Rice, beans, lentils. Socialism in a tote bag. It's not glamorous, but it's proof that cooperation still exists beneath the capitalist frost. These acts won't topple the system, but they puncture it, letting a little air back into the room. The phrase food insecurity is bureaucratic cowardice. It means hunger, and hunger is degrading. It turns you into a creature of calculation, timing your next meal like a junkie waiting for a fix. It makes you stupid, fogged, ashamed. And it shouldn't exist here, not in a country that can build condos for ghosts and pipelines to nowhere. This isn't just an economic crisis, it's a moral one. We've mistaken efficiency for virtue. We built an economy that treats survival as a luxury item, and we're supposed to call it progress. But a society that can't feed its workers isn't rich. It's decadent. I don't want a handout. I want a world that adds up, where labor equals livelihood, where you don't have to turn hunger into a personality trait. Maybe the answer isn't waiting for policy, but changing what we value. cooperation over profit, sustenance over speculation. For now, I keep writing, keep thinking, and yes, sometimes keep skipping dinner. It's hard to concentrate on solutions when your stomach's growling, but perhaps that sound is also a kind of protest. The body reminding the system that it still exists.
My delivery driver just delivered my groceries, and I paid for $3 worth of sweet potatoes. I want you to know it's not the size of the sweet potatoes, it's what I paid for it. But I need you to see this. In fact, I'm gonna bring you a little closer. And I really need you to see this. $3 worth of sweet potatoes. I can hold them in my hand, all three. Send the floods. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Did you hear about the guy who was on TikTok and he was talking about that $75,000 a year, which is a decent wage, especially like where I live in a small town, is pretty good for your average income for America, but even that income is not sustainable for the cost of living right now. To me, that's insane because I live in a small town, so me and my husband, our combined incomes don't even reach six figures, and we both have good jobs. So it's crazy to me to think that these people that are living in big cities are trying to survive on less than this typically. So I'm curious to know how much cost difference it is for your guys' groceries in cities versus mine here in a small town.
Would you like to know how much these 2 bags of groceries cost in the United States in October 2025? Let's find out together. I just went to the store to get groceries for tonight's dinner, so keep that in mind. This is for one meal, all right? This is the first bag. We have a zucchini. My first name also starts with Z, so for Alphabet Day in kindergarten, I made zucchini bread. Well, my dad made zucchini bread, but I brought it in. I have a fondness for the zucchinis. Some white mushrooms. And in bag 1, we have a little bit of ginger. If you couldn't tell, I'm going to be making some curry tonight. All right, off into bag 2. We have a bag of spinach. Pre-washed, triple wash. That's a lot of washing. Got some naan bread. We have some crushed tomatoes because I don't trust the real tomatoes here in the States. They taste like styrofoam. An onion, one with layers, just like an ogre. Coconut milk for the curry. A spicy chili pepper. We have a thing of cashews. And last thing we got, I treated myself. I got some manchego cheese from Spain. All in all, I got 11 things. Now, before I tell you how much I paid for this, I want you to tell me where you live in the world and how much you think that you would pay for this. And also give me your best guess as to what number I'm about to say. All right, you ready? For 11 items, I paid $40.38. You heard that right, $40 for one dinner, okay? Obviously, I'll have some leftover spinach and cashews. What's the point? I might as well just eat out at a restaurant if it's this expensive just to shop. I don't know about you, but I am so excited for day 1 when apparently all of these prices are going to go down. Any day now. Seriously, I really just don't understand how we are expected to pay for groceries anymore. It is so unbelievably expensive just to live, just for one dinner. I can't do it anymore. My solution is I'm just straight up moving to another country, but I don't know what else to do. Otherwise, I just sit here and complain for the rest of my life about grocery prices, but I don't want to do that, and I don't think you want to hear me do that, so that's what I'm doing. What do you think about these prices? I mean, just between the cheese and the nuts alone, it's $20. That was half the bill, and I hate to be cheesy here, but that's nuts.
I don't understand how I make $34 an hour.
This video is absolutely gut-wrenching. Go watch her whole video, and she is being so raw in her emotions on her frustrations about the fact that she makes $34 an hour, which isn't a bad wage, and simply can't make ends meet. She talks about the fact that she has to buy a loaf of bread and eat toast with peanut butter and make one loaf of bread last her a whole week.
So I just went into my local co-op to get a few bits and bobs. We've got a co-op at like the bottom of our road, and I've got to admit I go into it like most days to get the odd bits and bobs. But the prices, like I know we've got a cost of living crisis, but oh my word, the prices of these things. Just look. Anyone want some ketchup? Do you want a little bit of ketchup to go with your chips? Look at that. £4.10. £4.10 for just a standard size ketchup. But it gets better. Just watch. Would you like a chicken? A nice roast chicken? One of these chickens? Guess how much? Not even a large chicken. It'd probably feed a family of 4 if you're lucky. Ready? £7.15. £7.15 for one chicken. £7.15. Oh my goodness. And do you want some gravy to go with your chicken? Some gravy, maybe, to go with the chicken, you know? Bisto. Low price. £4.30 for some gravy granules. £4.30. Bisto was like, remember that advert of that family sat around the table? Bisto. Bisto. No, not at £4.30. Low price. And then maybe, you know, it's getting a bit cold outside, isn't it? We've got snow forecast and stuff. Maybe the kids want hot chocolate, you know, maybe. Let's get some hot chocolate. £6.20 for some instant hot chocolate. £6.20. You go in, buy those 4 items and spend over 20 quid. That's from the co-op. These prices are daylight robbery. How? £6.20 for some hot chocolate. That is crazy. And then maybe you've got a dishwasher. Maybe, you know, you shove your plates and stuff in the dishwasher after you've cooked your £7 chicken with your £4 gravy. Let's buy some dishwasher tabs, shall we? £13. £13. I don't even know how many you get in. You probably get like 20 dishwasher tablets in there for £13. It's crazy prices. What income do people need to be earning to be able to buy this stuff? It's absolutely bonkers.
So a lot of Americans are not crazy. The United States is in a cost of living collapse. But because we're not in a GDP collapse, gross domestic product, economists keep on saying everything is fine. And that's the disconnect. GDP measures how well corporations and the wealthy are doing, not how well the average American is doing. Right now, over 8.2 million people are unemployed, more than the population of New York City. And 5 million are so burnt out, they've stopped even looking for work. Manufacturing is still declining. Retail is cutting hours to avoid paying benefits. Workers are exhausted while corporations hit record productivity, and workers see none of it. Inflation has slowed, but prices never dropped. Food is up 19% since 2021. The average rent is over $2,000. Your rent payment now looks like a mortgage, and your grocery bill looks like rent. This isn't prosperity, it's suffocation. We're in a polycrisis where you have unaffordable housing, burnout, stagnant wages, automation, political dysfunction, and climate change all hitting at once. And none of that shows up on GDP. So no, you're not imagining it. The United States looks stable on paper, but it feels unstable in real life because the system measures corporate health, not human well-being.
I'm holding my phone up because, my phone holder just broke amongst everything else. In the wise words of the prophet George Carlin, it's called the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it. Meanwhile, I'm out here. I'm not asleep. I am wide awake. I am paying $6 for McCormick chicken dust today. Chicken dust. Chicken seasoning is $6 for a tiny little fucking jar. Eggs, $10 damn a dozen. Folgers coffee. Folgers coffee is now $20 for the, the lidded red jar, the tin that tastes like it was scraped out of a nursing home's drip pot in 1986. And then Trump's over here like, the economy's great. It's great. Really, bitch? That's why people are financing their groceries on Klarna like it's a Louis Vuitton bag. That's why we're out here afterpaying fucking bananas. By the way, I've lost my voice if you can't tell, just, from being sick and from crashing out this week over groceries. It's not the American dream. It is the American gaslight. And we're all just out here seasoning our fucking ramen with bad debt that we can't pay. You can't even treat yourself anymore. A Starbucks run feels like applying for a small business loan. A grocery store trip requires like a blood sacrifice in your firstborn, and a cosigner with decent credit. Costco is absolutely terrifying. Like, I don't even want to go in. I mean, it used to be the land of abundance, and now I'm terrified. You walk in rather confident, and walk out broke and confused, holding a $40 jar of pickles and a kayak that you didn't know you fucking needed. Like, and let's be honest, bill due dates, those aren't real anymore. They're polite little suggestions, sometimes polite, sometimes not. Credit cards be calling me like, ma'am, you're 4 days past due. And I'm like, and? Get in line, man. You'll get your $35 minimum payment when I'm done paying $12 for these eggs. I just realized I wasn't breathing there. And utilities don't even like pay the electric bill or buy milk for the kids. Choices. But sure, tell me again about how wages are up. Yeah, cool. $3 more an hour so I can afford a half cart of groceries and a therapy session about why I cried in aisle 5 because the box of Cheerios was $9. $9. And at this point, I don't need a financial advisor. I need an exorcist because clearly the demons running this economy are thriving while the rest of us are out here bartending vibes and trauma for gas money. And when that doesn't cut it, guess who's going to be at the pawn shop with grandma's heirlooms? Not me. Yes, sir, it's a Victorian locket from 1892. No, I don't care what it's worth. Just tell me if it'll cover 2 gallons of milk and a tank of unleaded. For fuck's sake.
It's not the overspending, it's the cost of living. Here is a breakdown of the average Gen Z and millennials' cost of living in today's world. So number 1 is rent. Everyone knows that Gen Z and millennials have to have a roommate. So splitting a 2-bedroom apartment with utilities is around $1,500. If you have a car, a $12,000 to $15,000 used car is still going to run you $400 a month. Car insurance and gas is another $300. Student loan payment, $500. You're going to have groceries for $500. You're going to have personal care, doctor's appointments, hair, gym, about $150, and then cell phone and miscellaneous $150. That's $3,500 a month, which is baseline. Do you know how much $3,500 a month is? $70,000 a year, or $34 an hour. Because after you take out taxes, put $300 for health insurance, and do a healthy $500 401k contribution, that leaves you at $3,500. This is no fun, no savings, no maintenance, no clothes, no kids, no traveling, no vacations, no bachelor parties, no weddings, no funerals, no clothes, no school supplies, nothing. And this is paycheck to paycheck. And on top of it, they're holding $40,000 of student loan debt, a $15,000 car, and if they ever wanted to buy a house with closing costs and a down payment, another $50,000. So they need $105,000. So even if they were somehow able to scrounge up after $70,000 of paycheck to paycheck, $5,000 to go to a concert, to have avocado toast, whatever it is, $5,000 a year, it would take them 20 years to pay off this debt and save up for a house. 20 years of living with the roommate where that rent's going up, and they're making $70,000 a year as a college graduate. The average person in this country makes $50,000. It is not the overspending. It is a cost of living crisis.
Life's so damn high you can't even afford to die. Have you seen the cost of caskets and funerals? Man, when I die, just throw my ass in the ocean. Fuck it.
I got a letter recently that my property taxes are going to go up $600 a year from now on. I got a letter that my homeowner's insurance is going up $60 a month. My propane company sent me a letter that my propane is going to double this year. They just came and filled up my tank. It was $1,000. That's crazy. Also, as a entrepreneur and business owner, I get my health insurance through the marketplace. So you have the Affordable Care Act. I pay $45 a month. They just informed me that if this bill passes and I lose my tax credit, I'm going to go from $45 a month to $660 a month for health insurance. I need to buy a new car and I can't because the cars have gotten more expensive and the interest rates have gotten so much more expensive. I can't find a reliable car that has the same monthly payment of $450 a month that I've been paying now for a new car. Not necessarily new, but new to me. Groceries are insane, and it feels like every day I get a new email from another subscription that I have, whether it's Netflix, my website subscription, everything's increasing in price. And I sit pretty much every day stressed about money. And yet I know that there are so many people in this country that are way worse off than me. And they're not making it, y'all. They're not making it. What hurts me the most is that there are so many women, especially, that just cannot afford to leave abusive homes and they have to stay in it because of this economy. So are we great again, America? Like, is this what you voted for? Meanwhile, they all sit there in DC, not feeling any of these pressures, not doing anything about it, not giving a shit about the American people. I have been extremely poor and I have been extremely wealthy. And I know from firsthand experience that the wealthy people don't notice it. And most people are pretty self-absorbed and aren't thinking about other people anyway. So we got to talk about this more. We got to raise hell. We have to let DC know that this is not acceptable. Regardless of your party, we have got to help each other.
You see me at strip club on stage. Mind your damn business. I'm saving for Christmas.
I said it before and I'm going to say it again. Anyone living in the New York, New Jersey area is suffering. And to be honest, based on your comments on all my other posts, most of America is suffering. The rent is astronomical. And mortgages these days? Yeah, no, not happening. You need $800,000 minimum for a house in New Jersey, and it probably needs work. My husband went back to school and got a degree in engineering just so that I could stay home and I wouldn't have to work. Because currently I am 6 months pregnant. But guess what? That one salary is not enough. So now he's looking into getting another part-time job. This is not normal. But here's the thing. I'm not willing to sit back and complain when this is clearly our new reality. So here's what I'm going to do about it. God put it on my heart to create events. And I'm going to invite guest speakers who are experts on topics like financial investing or home ownership. I will go into cities, put these events on, and have these experts flood the city with information. Because knowledge is power. And if we don't get knowledge and figure something out, we're going to keep being on this hamster wheel. And I'm trying to get off the wheel. But I also can't sit back and watch other people being on the wheel as well. So upon praying in my little prayer closet, God has placed on my heart to create a clothing line. And this clothing line is all about goodness. But this clothing line is also the brand that's putting on these events. So you're going to get a whole lot of information that you need to learn and grow. And then I'll have my positive motivational clothing at the events as merch. My clothing just finished and shipped. My first event is in December. This has been really freaking hard, and only God knows if I'm actually going to be able to help people. So if you want to see what happens, follow me on this journey.
Do you ever wonder why your paycheck doesn't stretch as far as it did a while back? Let's look at some prices from 50 years ago to today. 50 years ago, which was 1975, your average house cost was $39,300. If we're going to compare today's prices with how it was set up in 1975, your average house price should be about $248,000. But right now, the median house price is $410,000. But wait, I have another doozy for you. In 1975, your average income was about $14,000. If I were to translate over into today's money, your average person should be making about $67,000 a year. I have a regular job in corporate-ish America, and I don't make anywhere near that. I also have a degree. So I don't understand what is holding our wages from moving up with our cost of living the way that they did in 1975. If anybody has any statistics that they'd like to throw in on this, let me know and we'll put it in the next one.
Imagine making $160,000 a year. That's what the average income in the United States would be if wages had kept up with the cost of housing. Check out this cost of living breakdown for 1959 I came across, where the cost of a new house was $12,400 and the average income at the time was $5,000. That's nearly half the cost of a new house. Today, the average cost of a new house is about $410,000, which is 33 times that of 1959. Has the United States average income gone up 33 times since 1959? No, it hasn't. It's only gone up by about 12 times, an average of $60,000. And look at the average cost of rent in 1959, $97. Divide that $5,000 yearly income by 12 to get the monthly income at the time, $416. So your rent is less than a quarter of your monthly income. That's insane. I don't know about you guys, but my rent takes up about 60% of my income. Over half of my damn check. We are being robbed of a decent life that generations before us got to enjoy.
The amount of people just leaving the United States is absolutely insane. I could sit here and read you all the numbers about how 4 in 10 US adults are planning to relocate, how more people than ever are emigrating from the United States, and how for the first time in over 50 years, there's going to be a net outflow of immigrants rather than an inflow. It is just astounding. But the amount of immigration lawyers and relocation experts and foreign governments who are just swamped with Americans because there are so many people moving that I don't even think the true number is really documented. And it is just going to show that there is a movement happening and it's out of the United States. And whether that's political, economical, or something else, like just looking for a better quality of life, a better pace of life, better work-life balance, there is something happening. And I think a lot of people realize the sinking ship that we are on and they are getting off. I'm not trying to cause a panic or anything like that, but I think people realize the way things are going here, how it's not improving, how it's not going to get better anytime soon. And they are taking the nuclear option of taking their American dream somewhere else. Because the American dream now is to leave. Just look at the number of Americans who live in Mexico, Spain, Portugal, France, etc. It is growing and growing and growing. And I think this is going to have ramifications from foreign governments locking down immigration in the future. Anti-American sentiment is on the rise, unfortunately. And who knows, maybe the government here increasing taxes on expats. I know they were supposed to get rid of the taxes on expats, and instead of doing that, they actually increased the fee of money leaving the United States. So, our government doesn't really like us leaving the country anyway, because it really is the biggest form of protest. You're taking your dollars and you are moving to another place and saying, I am removing myself from this American system. I myself am moving, and I am moving to Portugal next year. I couldn't be more excited. Follow me if you find that interesting, and please let me know if you're leaving, if you're thinking of leaving, and if you are, where you're going. Because even though things are bad here, economically, politically, whatever, I think most of us aren't running away from something as much as we are running towards something. And that something is a better life.
I really feel bad for my generation, Gen Z, because we're really put in a tough spot to try to make it to the same milestones that our parents did at our ages. Used to be able to work a 9 to 5 and be able to afford living comfortably. Now, a 9 to 5 is not enough. Being able to save and budget used to actually be attainable. Now, it's not. Now, more than 80% of our check goes toward our rent. And the scraps that we have left, good luck trying to pay that with your other bills. This economy is screwed, the job market's screwed. I think we're all pretty screwed at this point.
Well, that wraps up today's conversation about the cost of living crisis that we're in right now in America. I know I'm feeling it. I know everybody's feeling it in some kind of way. And this is just several examples. And when you have people talking about groceries and losing their house, being evicted, the mortgage rates, the interest rates, um, healthcare costs. I mean, everything across the board is just really ridiculous right now. And it is hard for everybody. Well, it's hard for the general population. So I guess we're all just trying to figure it out together. If you have any comments or if you have any stories that you want to share with us, make sure to comment below. And yeah, I mean, this is just hitting everyone, but in different ways. But thank you so much for watching and spending a few minutes of your time with us today. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future videos where we break down real issues and real stories and real life. So thanks again for being here. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. And I'll catch y'all in the next video.